So, hello. We are at this Sunday Night Hangout, where we're just hanging out. Turn that down a little bit. Hey Dappy, can you guys not hear me? See me? Can you hear me? See me? No, it's definitely the Sunday Night Hangout. You must be someplace else. Where it's Monday already? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Boom, there I am. I just popped up. All right. So, we're just hanging out again. It's Sunday. If you guys got any questions? Anything? I got these rubber thingies. And I did some sounds with them on my last one. But I really want to do something with these. But I also want to make a big old slingshot thing for my grandkids so they can launch like stuff out into the yard. I don't know, I'm stuck. But anyways, these are little stretchy things for my wife to strengthen her back and legs up after her surgery. And she wraps them in her arms and they go like this, and yeah, it's all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Alright, Monday already. Does that look like Australia? Let me know if I'm seeing things sideways. I do that sometimes. I'm doing well. I just got my youngest granddaughter's birthday was today. And they live in Truckee, North Lake Tahoe. So we were just up there hanging out. And there's nothing like a bunch of people standing around lighting a cake on fire for a young child to spit on it so they can cut it up and serve it out. All right, Canada. I love Canada. Yeah, my youngest. And it's funny for me to say my youngest is 7 today. My youngest. And my youngest child's 38 or 39. Yeah, I got a couple of these things. I was just thinking about all the stuff I could do with these. first child right now, well, congratulations. Your life is about to change. Now, some people act like it's great. Some people act like it's horrible. It is hard. But I tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I have 3 kids. The oldest one would be, oh geez, probably 48. I think he's 48. The girl child is 36. No, the girl child's 38. 10 apart. 48, 38, and 33. The youngest boy. 34. That happens too when you have a lot of kids. You forget their names, their ages. Yeah, it's... When I had my first kid, I wasn't happy. He was a shocker. But, changed me for good. When it first happened, I couldn't believe I'm going to be a dad. I'm not that guy. I party, I do cooking. I mean, I do weird stuff. I'm not a good dad. But I tell you what, I might not have been a good dad, but I'm a great grandfather, so. And not like great grandfather, I'm like a good grandfather. And my kids still come around and they still like me, so I did something right. The other thing is, I always stressed school constantly to my kids. And I told all of them, as long as you're in school and you're getting grades, I'll make sure you have a vehicle. So they all got new cars. Because, of course, I don't want them in the university and not have a way to get around. And in California, it's not like New York or anything where you really don't need a car. You kind of need one, especially for them to come home and see their mom. But that was the deal. As long as you're in school, I'll take care of your car, your insurance, your expenses. But if you want any partying money or anything, as long as your grades don't go down, get a job, get it yourself. So I wasn't that harsh, but I paid for him to be there and gave him a little bit of spending cash, but it seemed to work out pretty good. Yeah, I have one kid, one daughter. I have my daughter and her husband and their family. Kids live in just outside of Santa Rosa, California. Her older brother lives in Truckee, 2 hours from me, either way. And believe me, that's not bad. And the youngest son is about an hour south. And I see them all every week. appreciate it. I'm just happy they haven't put me in a home. I appreciate it. Thank you much. Now, I got a question for you guys. What do you think about AI? Don't hold back. Let me know how you really feel. I got my big truck idling over there. Not my big truck, but the one that comes by every night. What was that alert? What's the alert for? And is that Frostbolto? Frostbolto. That's an airplane. Hang on, I'm listening. Yeah, that's an airplane. Yeah, I get, I think Daffy, you're talking about AI, but, I don't do a whole lot of AI, but I get kind of blamed for using it, because a lot of the stuff I do, I dictate it, and I use Word, and believe it or not, that's AI when it dictates it. It's my writing, and my words. So what I do is either my phone, my iPad, or one of these, I jot down my notes, put them in Word, speech to text to Word. I put them together, then move the chunks around, let it do the spell check. I'm not talking about that kind of AI. I'm going to do a podcast, and my producer is going to be completely virtual. Completely virtual. This is so impressive that I want to be completely honest about it. So I'm going to do some stuff. I used to do work videos where I had like this, I would do these scenarios. And I would have these, I would piece together these words. I would dictate out and have a voice read them back. So like I had an assistant, and I did some cool stuff with that for work. Like Tony Stark kind of thing for work. And to the advancement, I can get a little bit more clear, and I wanted to bring that back in. And I was reviewing some old videos that I did for work. And I went, it'd be great if I had a little sidekick in here. Because, sometimes I'll be explaining a piece of equipment to you, and I won't remember the price. But technically, I can have that sidekick go find the price for me. That's what I'm talking about. Something kind of different, not just trash AI. And I'm only thinking about it. I'm only thinking about it. I just don't want to scare anybody off. Okay. I'm with you, man. The alert. Yeah, we have that here. Unfortunately, I shut ours off. Mine off. All right. I'm back. Now, Deb, are you talking about the AI stuff or the, let me know. What's up? Now, the AI stuff, like I said, I did some these kind of cool videos for work about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But I used it was like I had a little sidekick with me, and when I was doing the training video, I would ask them, and they would tell me. But then I didn't have the capability to search. Then it was me making the script, putting the voice to it, and then queuing it in on the. Oh, that's cool, man. You're not late, you're just in time. I was early. I was early. What I was talking about, man, is AI. AI, I want to bring in a sidekick and test it out for some stuff. And I was just wondering how you guys felt about that. Let me know. Oh yeah, no, I'm with you. But like I said, there's been some. It is a buzzword, and we've been using it for years. But like I said, back in the day, I used to kind of funny having a little, kind of like Jarvis on Iron Man. I used to funny it, kind of make a little funny training videos, and I had a little sidekick in there. But then, like I said, then I would script it out and just record the voice. But I've been looking over some AI models, and they can actually I can actually turn it into a virtual producer. And I just, like I said, I just want to feel it out. I want everything to be real here. Real. And I don't want to jeopardize that relationship I have with you guys. Yeah, there's some nice little scratching triggers. Nice. Yeah, I appreciate that, Daffy. Well, again, I just don't want to. What I do here is a pretty kind of basic thing. It's one camera. I don't cut away very often. Every once in a while, I'll do a cutaway. But I was just reviewing some of these old videos, and I was just going, it'd be nice if I could do something like that again. But when I had to put the voice to the words, that was a lot of work. So I started checking to see what I could do to revamp these videos I did years ago to make updated ones. And then I started reading about this, and I go, well, I wonder if you guys would dig something like that, especially if I'm reviewing a piece of equipment and you guys want to know a price. I can have the AI grab the price with just my voice. So, and I thought that would be an advantage, especially if I made it kind of funny. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be hilarious, but like a sidekick. But it would just be my producer. When I work at work, I'll have somebody doing what I'm doing right now, kind of. And then I produce it. I'm the guy back here. I'm switching the camera. I do multiple cameras at work. I'll switch the cameras. I'll tell them who's on. If they're doing a talk and they hit something or they get snagged, I'll hop in and do like a listener's question and stuff like that. But instead of it being me, because I'm here, I want to set up a virtual one here. And I thought that if I was completely honest and said, hey, this is AI, I think everybody would be cool with it. What do you think? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, I'm going to take that as a okay. Yeah, I want to revamp some of these old videos for work. Well, actually, they're asking me to because they kind of dug them. What I did was I took a lead a couple of years ago off of Peter McKinnon's 2-Minute Tuesday, and I set up for work a 2-Minute Tuesday, and it was just given sometimes a bulletin, sometimes a memo, sometimes a fix. I did a lot of fixes. So when there was a real quick fix that happened that only took a couple seconds, I would come on and go, hey, and I would do that, and had my little sidekick would help me out with it. I hear you. I hear you. Says it's time for me to update my car warranty. It says right there, my truck warranty. It's coming up, and they want to know if I want to. My truck's brand new. I mean, it's a month old. Yeah. No, not a. I'm not a fake you, not a fake you out, not a but have like a sidekick. Let's call her Deb. And when I'm talking to you about something, I go, hey Deb, what's the price on that today? And they can tell me the price. You see what I'm saying? And kind of kicking in as a sidekick. I just think that would be just so cool. Have you guys heard how advanced this stuff has gotten? It's crazy. I'm talking crazy. Probably won't work, but let's give it a try. Hey Deb, you there?
I'm right here. What's on deck tonight?
All right, hey Deb. I'm explaining to my listeners about my virtual producer, you, my sidekick.
Sure. I'm Deb, your virtual producer. Kind of a steady voice in your ear. I help you keep the flow moving, ask the listener at home kind of questions, and nudge you when you start to wander. Think of me as someone riding shotgun, keeping it focused but still relaxed and human, so you've got room to be you.
All right, Deb. Appreciate it. All right, now. I am very polite to this AI because someday when they take over, I want them to like me. Just saying. So something kind of like that. Let me know, you guys. Dude, have you seen Terminators? I'm telling you, someday they're gonna take over. Now, I've been working with the model for her, gathering recordings of different scenarios and emotions, and I set her up for my wife to talk to her, and my wife had about a 20-minute discussion with her before she realized that she wasn't real. Then not only was that scary, but it was funnier than shit. Yeah, I'm with you. They are pretty crazy, and but I was just thinking it'd be, if as long as I was forward with it, up to date with it, and didn't hide anything, and just used her like a sidekick, a help me out one, especially on my other channel, which I've neglected for quite a while. I mean, I got like 140 subscribers, but that's called Still in Business, and I'm gonna start doing more of how I stay in business, or how I stayed in business. But I want to use like a sidekick. So on that channel, and even this channel, there's stuff that I don't remember about how much stuff costs, where you can find it, what the up-to-date specs are on it, and that would be awesome, especially online. Would be great. All right, enough AI talk. Enough AI talk. So, what do you guys think? What are you doing? What's going on? Tonight, I want to talk about small cameras. I had a run-in, kind of a gritty conversation with somebody that does the same thing I do for a different company. Now, I was brought in to, with this other company, I was brought in to kind of collaborate with them. And I'm different because I use the tools that get the job done, to where this company's kind of where they look cool and do the job. Does that make sense? So anyways, little cameras. The little Insta360 Go 3S. It's a little bitty 4K camera. But when we do work videos, I can put this camera anywhere. Bottom of a glass, open in the refrigerator for stock video, hang it on the side of a knife while it's chopping for food videos. I love this thing. I've used it a ton. I've even stuck it on the outside of a car to get a little bit of a driving, so that you get that wheel that kicks out when it goes around the corner, just to get a B-roll piece. And this guy was kind of like, to do that would cost a lot of, he's going, and back in the day it used to mount a camera on there with rigs and gear and stuff. But this little camera, I shot some stuff up in a water fountain. This is for a company that does water statewide. So they needed some B-roll for an ad. I stuck it in the camera. Somebody pushes the button. The water rolls over, hits the lens. The person leans over and gets a drink. You just see the side of their cheek. You never really see the person. Stuff like that. I am a firm believer that there is no such thing as professional equipment. Now, don't get me wrong, I got a ton of it. But there's equipment that you can buy that's really expensive. And then there's equipment that gets the job done. Like nowadays, a gimbal. I can take a gimbal and put I don't have it anymore, but put my red on it. And I can do a nice dolly track just with the gimbal. You know what it takes to set a dolly up? Crazy. Now I can take the smaller mirrorless cameras, a gimbal and a monopod. I can get jib shots. Those are crazy. It used to be crazy expensive to do, but now I can do them without spending a ton of money. So I was a big proponent. Where was I going out with this conversation? Anyways, for you guys, you don't need to have the most expensive crap in the world to produce stuff. If you're into this, if you want to create something, you don't need it. When you listen to these YouTubers about the FX5 that just came out, amazing camera, amazing. Half the shit on it I won't use. So is it that amazing? Yeah, Daffy, that's kind of you, man. They just came out with that new Mission 1. That thing's pretty badass. They made that one, Mission 1, where you can put a 4/3 lens on it. And I've seen some of the stuff at that. That's pretty rockin' and rollin' camera, especially if you need it for little stuff. Inside car rides. When you do, back in the day when we did a monologue in a car, big ass camera over here, big ass camera over here, towing the car in a trailer. Now I can get that same quality with a GoPro in this corner and a GoPro in this corner and just cut them together and post. A quarter of the cost. So yeah, if you're talking about a GoPros, look at the Mission 1s. I think that's what they're called. See, now if I had Deb here, I could ask her about the Mission 1s. And then you guys would have heard all about it. All right. Pardon you guys when it's hot in here, so I don't want the sweat dripping down my face. So it looks like I just got it in the rain or something. What I am super impressed with is Insta360. Now, I use 360 cameras a lot. And people go, well, that's kind of crazy. But you know, it's different because I can get a 4K reframe out of a 360 camera. So when we're doing something pretty heavy, I don't have to worry about where it's pointing. I just got to worry about the movement because it's taken all the way around. And because of that, I can do 2 or 3 different shots just from one movement of a 360 camera for work. Once I started doing that, yeah, I was sold. Not to use it for, I do use it for virtual, but just for reframing, it's incredible. And the flow state on those are, you don't need a gimbal. I mean, they're amazing. What do you mean, Daffy? You think about doing something good? Like for somebody? Or no, I'm joking. What do you have? Because, you know, it's really not the equipment you have. I know you guys hear that on YouTube constantly, but it's really not. I mean, if you got a phone, you do some amazing stuff with phones. I have shot commercial B-roll with an iPhone 16 Pro. Now, don't tell them. But there's been times I think I made a video about it. I shot an interview, and I had to be so quick because he's a CEO, and I had 5 minutes. Altogether, I pulled up a magnetic tripod, stuck my phone on it, mic'd him up, asked the questions, did the interviews, all on an iPhone 16. That's really all you need. Well, I mean, you need one. I don't mean it like that, but if you want to create, my still frame cameras are Sony A7R2s. I haven't found a reason to buy the newer ones. I don't use autofocus. My lenses are vintage, and they're adapted, and they're huge. And I'm always on a tripod. I have a couple lenses, so if I'm not, but that's 42 megapixels. And I shoot stuff with that. They have never asked me, oh hey, was that a... They never asked. So, if you want to create with what you have. Don't worry about. If I had an old 8mm, which I think I do, movie camera, I would adapt what I have and do that 8mm so that it looked like a creative 8mm piece. You see what I'm saying? Look at it like this. 20 years ago, I went in with a partner, 2 partners, and we bought a Phantom, a slow motion camera. Now think about this. Really think about this. 20 years ago, we bought this Phantom. I think I put in 10,000 and each one of them put in 10,000. 30 grand. Today, I can get the same quality out of my phone. Think about it. That movie, 28 Days Later, the newest one, the 28 years, whatever, all shot on an iPhone. The whole movie shot on an iPhone 15. It's got adapted lenses, but it's an iPhone. Like I said, I shoot my stills still with a Sony A7R Mark II. 42 megapixel sensor. I get in a talk, and I'm going, hey, well, how come you don't do the Sony R? I think it was when I was doing talk, the 4 came out. I go, because I don't need it. I don't need it, but it's got this autofocus, but I don't use autofocus. So the way I look at new equipment, if it doesn't make me, okay, look at it like this. I have this two old cameras, one for a backup. I use these old ass lenses that are medium format lenses. And each one has been tested for me to get the right characteristics of the flaws. So they're flawed, but they're flawed the way I want them to be, so that when I shoot it and you look at the picture, you know it's me. Now, if I bought the Sony, what'd they say, the Sony A7R Mark IV, 5, 6, 27, whatever it is now, I wouldn't make any more money than I would with the ones I have now, because there's nothing that it gives me that changes my work. Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? I had a red camera. I got rid of that red camera because I use for video, I use a Lumix GH5. I'm comfortable with it. I love it. It's rigged out. When I got hired for one of the companies, they hired me because I had a red. They seen my work. They heard that I had a red. They know that I had a red. They heard. I've been shooting for this company for 8 years now. I have sat in meetings where they went, oh my gosh, this red camera is incredible. More than once. Oh my gosh, the red camera's awesome. 8 years. I've never shot one promotion on a red camera for this kind of company. So, if I kept my red and shot it with a red because it's going on the internet, there's really nothing that I don't use it every day. It wouldn't make me any more money. So, I sold the red. If I need a red, I'll rent it because I don't use it every day. So boom, there you go. Sorry for my ranting. Sorry. An old Kodak, yeah. I hear you. I have film cameras. Mamiya RB67 Pro, which just means nothing really. The difference between when you buy a pro camera and a regular camera or a prosumer camera is usually the weather sealing, how it's built. Two card slots. Maybe the media it's shooting off of. When I shoot video with my Lumix, my GH5, that all goes through a Ninja. So not only am I recording on the GH5, I'm also recording in the Ninja. I can spit out 422 ProRes natively. I can shoot open gate 5K. Again, I heard how much that red camera is so incredibly sharp, and I have never shot anything foreign with a red camera. Ever. Anyways, I got something shiny happened. Anyways, Daffy, I take my grandkids out sometimes and we shoot film. And then I still have a wet process here. Rarely use it, but every once in a while we go out and we shoot I've got a 12 and 13-year-old. They'll go out with me and we'll take pictures and then come back and get in the dark room and process them. But I don't wet process much at all. But special occasions, it's kind of fun. All right, all right, all right. All right, so this is, if you're just tuning in, this is the hangout. We come, we hang out, we just bullshit. I don't know if you guys seen my members video. That's only if you want to become a member. I'll have a behind the sounds tomorrow. I think I'm going to talk about the Zoom H5 Studio. That's now my favorite recorder. I'll probably throw in why I don't use big recorders anymore. Because of being stealthy. I can be a little bit more. That's a big deal today. People want to know. Alright, you guys, hey. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. I gotta run out and cool off real quick. Probably go to the lavatory real fast. I'll be back. All right. We're back. It gets pretty hot in this little room, especially when it's pushing 100 outside. You know, I use the Hollyland, those Hollyland wireless mics. And I started a church podcast, And what I do is when I produce that is I bought these 8-1 wireless mics. I think they're like $39. See, again, I could ask Deb how much they are. And they work amazingly. Yeah, you know, if I had Deb on here, she could give you the statistics about. I don't need Deb here, but I am Optimus Prime. But if you really think about it, if if a video's a little screwed up, like even when I'm out here, I'm a little screwed up. As long as the audio comes out, you'll still watch it. But if the audio sucks, it doesn't matter how good this looks. Yeah, you won't watch it. Yeah, I stumbled onto the HoloLand Lark A1s. Actually, I stumbled onto their wireless stuff for my big cameras years ago. And this camera I'm on right now is a Venus Air. My Sony's having a little problem heating up in this little bitty room. This thing here will go forever. This is a live stream camera. But there's no way to put filters on it. So I bought a rubber hood and modified it so I can shove the filters up in there. And that way, see, when I look at the monitor on the camera, I'm real contrasty. When I look at this one here, which I think is what you're looking at, less contrast, a little smoother, and that's because of the Pro Mist filters I'm running in there. I'm probably going to switch to 2, but now if you want to spend a couple bucks, I use a ton for my walk with me, my moving around videos when I'm doing, you'll see. And I put them here on my wrists. Lark Max 2s. I use those. Those are real nice, but they're about $250. Deb, good told you. I hate it when I do that when I drink. All right. So, oh my goodness, we're getting to about an hour and a half. Man, it's burning up in here. If you like what I'm doing here, link down below, buy me a coffee. Actually, there's one in the chat pinned. But I want you to become a member. But if you don't do either, it's always going to be free here. I'll always be here. Anyways, it's been real. It's been nice. But I gotta get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Behind the scenes tomorrow. Behind the sounds. Shot, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna do a After Dark Wednesday. Come check me out on KEWL on Friday, 9 o'clock. Okay. I'm gonna be like the cable guy. Between 9 and 11. Let me know. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Talk to you later. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. All right, all right, all right. I'm gone. Appreciate you guys. See ya.